and welcome back to Quick Tips. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Adobe Podcast, an online tool that lets you record and enhance speech. To get started, go to podcast.adobe.com. The first feature we're going to look at is Enhance Speech. If I select Enhance Speech, I can then drop audio or video files to enhance or choose files to upload. I've already uploaded a file that we're going to be using for the demo today. One thing to note is that files will automatically delete after 10 days. To hear the magic, I'm going to turn off Enhance Speech so we can listen to the original recording. All right, so I am not talking toward my microphone. I am in a noisy room. And this is probably the worst option I could have for my current audio setup. So let's see what happens when I drop it into Enhance Speech. Now I'm going to turn on Enhance Speech and hit play one more time. All right, so I am not talking toward my microphone. I am in a noisy room. And this is probably the worst option I could have for my current audio setup. So let's see what happens when I drop it into Enhance Speech. Here you can notice how much it improves your audio. It's drastically different. When you're happy with your edits, you can select Download to download the file back to your computer. This file could be used in a variety of tools, from Premiere Pro to Express and everything in between. If I click on the microphone icon, it will take me back home. Here we can also see there's a studio option, which we'll check last, and a microphone check option, which we're going to check right now. We're going to select the Start button, and then I can choose to test my microphone. If I click the purple button here, I can now test my microphone, and what I need to do is say, how is the microphone setup and placement? And then stop test. Here you can see that my recording quality is pretty good, but I need to turn my gain down a little bit. Now, while this might be too loud for Adobe Podcast, it's just about right for every other recording tool that I use, so I'm going to leave it as it is. But this will help you set it up as you're getting ready to record your podcast. If I click the microphone icon again, it will take me back home. Lastly, we're going to look at Studio. Here in Studio, we can see our recent projects, or I can select to create a new project. In here, I can choose to start recording, invite guests to record, or upload my own audio. I can also add music and placeholders. So let's start recording, and I'm just going to do a brief demo welcoming you to a podcast. Hello and welcome to the Adobe Podcast. My name is Willie Schaefer, and I am the Adobe Specialist here at UTSA. I press stop recording, takes a minute to process, and if I push play, hello and welcome to the Adobe Podcast. My name is Willie Schaefer, and I am the Adobe Specialist here at UTSA. Now there's a little bit of silence at that, represented with this dot. If I select that dot, I can delete that with the trash can. I'm going to do the same thing to this dot and delete it. Now what I want to do is I'm going to eventually turn this into an interview, and I want to make a note here of what I want to talk about. So I'm going to put in a placeholder because I know I'm going to do this interview a little bit later. So I'm going to put in a description of what I want. Introduce Christina and ask her about herself. So now I have a section here for introducing my guest, who I'll invite in just a moment. Additionally, if I select the audio that I've already created, I can go here to Filters and apply Enhanced Speech right here inside the podcasting tool. Now, I'm recording with my better setup today, so I don't need that. If I would like to add some music to my piece, I can select this music option, and there's a lot of different audio that I can choose from. So I'm going to choose fuzz, and if I want to preview it, I can hit this little play button, and I'm going to use that and select the plus, and it will add the audio to my track. So now when I hit play, I can hear that audio. If I go to these sliders, I can have it fade in and fade out and set as a background. So let's do that. Fade in, fade out, set as background, and then push play. My name is Willie Schaefer, and I am the Adobe Specialist here at UTSA. If I decide that I don't like it, I can always come back up here to the adjustments icon and select delete. Now you can upload your own music as well, but do remember that you must own the copyright to use the music, so no using your favorite artist. Before we invite our guest, I'm going to go ahead and give this a title, and I'm going to call this Interview Demo, and that will save it to the cloud so I can work on this later. Inviting guests is really easy. All you have to do is come up here to Invite Guest, and we can send a shareable link or invite people by email. And for this demo, I'm going to invite my assistant, Christina, through an email. Once I enter the email, I can push the send button, and my guest will receive an email with an invite. We can see down here that the invite has been set, and now we just wait for them to join. All right, so now we can see that Christina has received the invitation, and right here, we can see that she has joined our session. Hi, Christina, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start recording in just a moment. But before we start recording, we can discuss notes. We can go over things. We can make sure that we are ready for this interview. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I think I'm good.
All right, excellent. So I'm going to select the record button, and I'm going to introduce you and then ask you to introduce yourself for the first question. So joining us today is Christina. Now, she is the Adobe Graduate Assistant here at UTSA. Christina, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so like you said, I am the Adobe Graduate Assistant here on campus. I am in my master's year of graduate school. I'm in my first year. I have a bachelor's of science in architecture and a minor in professional writing and a certificate in design communication and fabrication.
So I'm going to stop the recording now, and we're going to talk about editing this a little bit. Christina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you.
So now we can leave it as it is, or we can come in and modify it a little bit. So if we wanted to make this a little bit tighter, we can do that. Now, again, you may want to keep it honest and authentic without editing, but if you do have the ability to edit, you can go in and change things. So for example, here, Christina said hi, so like you said, I'm the Adobe Graduate Assistant. So we can take out that so like you said, hit the trash can, and when I hit play now.
Hi, I am the Adobe Graduate Assistant here on campus. I am in my master's year of graduate school. I'm in my first year.
So we can edit that. Now, I would do some more cleaning on this and I'd add some more audio, but let's pretend that we are finished. Let's look at our options. First, up here, we have the ability to create a template and share that template. So if I wanted to use this for a course as an example, I could go in and share this template by creating a template so another user could access it and see the different bits and pieces. I can also select to download this file, and we can download a MP3, WAV file, a transcript in text, doc, or PDF, or the original recordings of the file if we need that for archival purposes. If I hit the back arrow, it takes me right back into my recording and I can edit it further. As you can see, the podcast tool from Adobe is quick and easy to use for podcasting, so you should give it a shot and try it out for yourself. Well, that's it for this week. Hope to see you again next week for another quick tip.